Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rock. So I'm going to show you how to do this kind of invisible join. I say invisible because if you are working with two different colours, you can't see the join at all. You can see there is a join, but you can't see any of the yarn from the join. Now, as I said before on one of my previous videos, I've been doing this join for a long time. And I've not really done it recently. I preferred to go through the back loops of a square, so this one here, and the back loop of the corresponding square, because it gives you these two outer edges here that gives you like a little ridge between, and sometimes that looks nice. But for this particular square, and when I made the scarf and making the blanket, I wanted it to be tight and you couldn't see any gap between. So this is I'm sure it's a variation on the mattress stitch, although it's not the mattress stitch. So if it has a name, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going to show you how we do it. And so I'm going to show you on two separate colours rather than on the glitzy ones that I'm making my scarf out of. I'm going to show you on these kind of bright colours because it's easier to follow. So let me get another colour that might be easy to see. Maybe this pink one might be a bit jazzy, mightn't it? I don't know. What do you think? I think it's probably the best one, so we'll use those two. Okay, so it's very straightforward and very easy. The only thing I've forgotten to bring in is a yarn. So I'm just going to pause it for a second. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be informed when there are new videos. So I'm just going to pause it and I'll be back with you any second. Okay, so I've brought in one of the colours. You can use either. You can't see, as I said, you can't see the join. Now, the theory is with this join that me and my mum used to use many years ago is that you could use any colour and you wouldn't see it. But obviously when you're trying to work in the tails, you do want them to be corresponding colours, otherwise you will see little telltale signs. So I'm just going to thread up a darning needle. Now I always like one with a massive eye. Probably testament to my eyesight. So what we need to do is we need to look at the square, and we need this chain in between the last round of the StarCrossed square, and we're going to insert our yarn into it, into the V, and come up through the next one, and we're going to leave a nice long tail for sewing in. And then we need to find the next one, and again look for that chain, go into the chain and come up through the next one, which is our first UK treble or US double crochet of our last round. Now don't worry, it's not going to be really tight for now, doesn't matter. So now we go back into this stitch, the one we've come out of, and we're going to come up through the V. So we're looking at it, there's our stitches, there are our V's, we're coming up through the V. And we're going to just carry on doing this all the way along, like we're lacing a pair of sneakers. So this is the one we came out of. We're going back in. We're coming up. You can see you're just catching that middle bar that's invisible to the eye. And let's keep the tail out the way. It's puckering up and knotting. There you go. So you're just kind of lacing them together. Let's keep that over there. And we're going to go in again through the one that we'd come out of and up through the next one. This is very simple, but really effective. Okay, it would have helped if I'd sewn all my tails in, I know. So this is the one we came out of. We're going to go in there and up through the other one. The next one, this is the one we've come out of, going in again in the same stitch and up through the next one. Okay, I'll do a couple more. Let's move that over there away from the tail. I think now that I need to make that little tail less. Okay, going in this one and up through the next one. Now what I'm going to do is just I'm going to pull it, and if you pull this tight, I don't usually work with it so loose, but you can pull it tight and there you go, it just miraculously closes. Isn't that fantastic? Impressed? And then so we're going in this one and out through the other, and we're going to make that a little bit more snug in that one, out through the other, and we just keep doing this all the way along. This is something that I used to do with knitting, and I'm not sure that I've ever seen anyone do it with crochet. I have no idea what it's called. I just call it my tight join. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more. You just put your finger on this bit and pull it. And if you want to, you can pull both sides just to get it extra tight. But that's as simple as that. And we do that all the way along, just through the V. And it looks difficult at first to find how you come in and how you go out, but it really is quite simple. I wouldn't use two different colours, you know, and a separate colour from my two that I've done. Obviously, it is a really, really mega invisible join if you're using the same colours, like with my my scarf. Because it's the same colour yarn, it is a truly, truly invisible. But this one, if you wanted to find it, I'm sure you could. But it's not in your face. You can't really see it. So all you do is periodically, that's in the way, isn't it? Periodically, just pull it. So holding on to it, just pull it tight. And if you want to, it's both ends, to take out the slack. But what I like about it is it still has the elasticity that it had in the beginning. It gives you, where's the two that I've done already? It gives you a really nice kind of tight edge, because you finish in that chain exactly the same and pinch it together. So you start and finish on that chain, and it gives you much less of a dip when you're coming to do your border. So we just do this all the way along, and you can see which one you've come out of and which one you were in quite easily. So you can see that coming out of there, so you know you're in this one. It's hard to do it through the camera. Much quicker and simpler when you're just doing it for yourself. Just carry on all the way to the end. You can quite get up a bit of speed as you go, as you get used to it. Now some people, I have seen them, they'll go through these two loops, and then in the next one they'll go through these two loops, and then they'll go through these two loops, and it has a good effect, but I just feel that this one has a much better effect than doing that. And I think that is the true mattress stitch. But going through this center, just pull it tighter. Going through that center bar just gives it that little bit more. I'll try and zoom in. I hope I don't go off camera. Go down a little bit. Sometimes I can when I zoom. But you can see it a little bit more clearly if I do that. So you're going in that one and up through that one. There's that center piece. So it's really weird doing it through a camera. But I just wanted to show you really close up if I could. If you're having any problems at all, which I'm sure you're not. As I say, it would have been helpful of me to have got rid of my tails, of my squares, wouldn't it? Okay, so we're just going to pull that tighter. See, it's working out quite nicely. You can actually, when you just sit there watching TV, and as long as it's something that you don't have to give 100% attention to, like the soaps or the news or something, just having something on in the background, it's quite easy thing to do. Okay, nearly there. Well, I say that. This one's a little bit more obstinate. There we go. I'll split the yarn there. Don't think it would have mattered too much, but I like to try and keep it neat if I can. So let's pull those ones tighter. My finger on it, and just pull it tighter. These ends and the tail are going to get in the way now. So going over this side. A couple of times, I don't quite know how it happened. I've got to the end and I've not been in the right stitch, probably not been focusing enough, but I've undone it and gone all the way back because it's not difficult. And as I said, you can, once you get used to it, you can get quite speedy. I hope I didn't go off the camera then. I was travelling, but I don't think I went off. Okay. It always looks like that one's got more than this one, like you've got an uneven edge. Usually it's fine, but the odd occasion, not fine. Having said that, I really hope it now works out at the other end. I maybe should have paused it because it's going to be a bit long and boring for you guys watching me do the whole length of this square. Okay, I've done quite a bit, so I'm going to pull it. If you want to, just hold both ends. Give them a tug to make sure that you've got all the slack. There we are. Nearly there. Out the way, pesky thing. Okay. So we're there. Are we there? Oops. Butterfingers. Are we there on this side? Nope, we've got one more to do to bring it out there. And then, am I in the gap? Yes, I am. So yeah, should have sewn that tail in. It would have been easier to see. So one last tug and we're at the end. So ignore this tail if you can. Now, all we need to do is pull these two edges together. I'm going to zoom out a bit because it is rather big. Okay, so we need to just pull these two sides together. So I'm going to go in this, which is the chain between our corner there, just to pull that tight. And now I can, while it's tight, keep my finger on it and just sew it closed. I can get in there. I didn't want to split the yarn, if I know. So what I do now is once I get a small loop left while I'm pulling it through, I put my needle through. It's a little bit bigger than I'd like. I put my needle through and put the yarn through. It didn't quite work out, did it? Or did it? And make a knot. It did. There you go. So that has actually snugged that quite close. And if that tail weren't there, you could see you're on the same stitch. So all I've got to do now is to work this tail in, and then I'll come back and obviously do my other tails, but not right this minute. So I can work my yarn down and just now work it through to hide the tail in the corner. And I usually go through just a couple of times. I split a stitch so that it stays in that place and doesn't just disappear back through the loop again, because that you won't see, it just disappears. So now I can end off. If I find my scissors, there we are. That's not the end of it though, guys, because when you joined the previous end, it's not actually secure. So we now have to do the same with this end, because obviously it didn't get tied on or sewn on, it was just a loose tail. So you now have to do exactly the same and work this one like going, there's the chain in between the two stitches of the corner. We're going to go through the back of this one and pull that tighter to this stitch. So now I've done that, I can do the same thing on this side, make my loop. Once it's nice and small, bring my needle through it and knot it off. So you can see it's quite a nice, I mean obviously you always get a little, it's a join, so you're going to get a little tiny indentation, but it's nowhere near as pronounced as a dip when you're sewing in. So now we've got to do the same and lose this tail. Obviously when it's, as I say, the same coloured squares like we're making the scarf, you see far less of the join than you would, because it's all the same colour. And that's, but it's really, really good. You can't see it. That's the reverse side, that's the back. And you can't really see anything at all. I like this join. Always like this join. Trying to get this sewn in. That's it. And I always pull it slightly before I cut it, and then the end disappears in that corner. And there we are. We've done another join. So hope you like that. I'm gonna make sure it's not zoomed in at all. No, it's not. So that's how I do my invisible join, which works for same colour squares or different colour squares. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like and share this video, and as I said before, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.